Peace, love, and blessings, everyone. Welcome to Poetry and Conversation Spotlight Feature. I do apologize for my neighbors cutting their grass at this time, but hopefully it does not distract this lovely interview that we are going to get into today with Elijah the Barber. I'm excited. Thank you for allowing me to get to know the poet behind the pen. I am going to open us up with the poem, and then we're going to get right into it. So here we go. They say time heals all wounds, but does it ease the pain behind the reality of borrowed hours? When silence follows, after a loved one passes on, leaving tomorrow as an incomplete thought. Yet time will continue, while your spirit screams for everything to just stand still. You try to look for answers in surrealness, but it stands in curiosity as well, wondering how we got here. See, borrowed hours remind you how short but precious life really is, reminding you to value what you have left. Yet somehow you find yourself wanting to live backwards. My mother lived in fast-forward moments. Clocks 40 minutes beyond the moment she existed in. Her reason was to always be on time, never late. She was a veteran in duality, conquering wars in both the army and the streets. Still, her demons made time for meet and greets. In church, she allowed the altar to be the place of fostering them, praying they find a new home to nestle in. And sometimes I wonder if she lived in fast-forward moments to get a head start on running away from them before they outran her. But I guess I'll never know. See, my mother had me at the age of 26. And for the first 5 of those years, I chose to carry her baggage. Like second nature, playing second to my needs, while my regret lived 40 minutes beyond the moment I existed in. The next 10 years, it developed and transformed me into a stranger my mother couldn't identify with. Things I suppressed turned to anger. Some days my rage boiled through my veins, blinding me from seeing the beautiful black queen before me. Sometimes even the friend over the crack fiend, my heart cries out for my dear mama. The last 10 years before she passed just seemed to pass with no warnings that this is the last time you have a chance to make things right. But my regret was always ahead of me. Introduced me in every room before my presence or mouth could. It's like my pride wouldn't allow me to see how fast the hourglass was flowing time to the other side. So that's 10 plus 10 plus 5. But damn, that only equals 25. Leaving me with 1 year left, floating with what ifs. Damn, my mother died before I could even make it to the age of 26. I clothed her in apologies on her deathbed, but I'd be lying if I didn't admit I still long for 1 more year of her. Still want more of her gems, and I know that it's not good to uplift flowers from the garden, wiltering them from their own life. So I've learned to give people instead their affirmational flowers. Because borrowed hours doesn't prepare you for how to give words to deaf's ears, where only silence will follow, leaving the next sentence as an incomplete thought. So please, tell every person that you love all that you've never had a chance to say while they are still here. Give them their affirmational flowers before you run out of poem. Peace, love, and blessings, everyone. Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for allowing me to get that new piece off. I'm about to get the man of the hour on so we can get right into the show. Here we go.
What is going on?
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. That was a good piece.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. How you feeling tonight?
I mean, I'm feeling good. We got some things to discuss.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. So we're gonna get right into it. My first question for you, Elijah, is how long have you been writing poetry, and what has your pen taught you about you personally?
I've been writing poetry since I was 12.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm 41. So I've been writing poetry for a very long time. My pen has taught me that no matter what I'm going through, I can always express it through poetry. No matter what I'm going through, I can always express it through poetry. So, um, it has been very therapeutic for me, especially I say like the last like 7 years, like when I really, really got back into poetry heavy. Um, just helping me get through life situations, relationships, grieving, death, change of circumstance or whatever. So poetry has definitely helped me and been my therapy.
Mm. I like how you said that poetry has helped me in my therapy and how you said it was easy for you to transmute your feelings through
Mm-hmm.
your pen. And Elijah, you definitely do that. The first time I met you was at the first time you had my Splash Watch Sister feature.
Mm-hmm.
It was out in the venue in New Jersey
Yeah,
before y'all moved over to Philly.
probably was Miss Sylvie's. It probably was Miss Sylvie.
Yeah. And like when you do your pieces, it's sense of humor behind it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you also have a way of making people think. So I kind of want to ask you a bonus question because you're a comedian, for those who don't know.
Mm-hmm.
How are you able to tie a serious message with sense of humor in it and you know what I'm saying, and still get the message out without the fear that it might get misinterpreted because the laughter might overpower that?
Well, so with my poetry pieces, I didn't start writing like funny poetry pieces or pieces that would start off serious and end out funny until after I got into stand-up comedy. And I
Okay.
tell this story all the time. I would do open mics and Kenny KP Walker would be hosting these shows. And I don't know why he would do this, but it was a poet. I can't think of her name and I feel bad because when I see her, it's gonna come to me. But it's a poet who has a piece about her upbringing and how her dad would molest her.
Mhm.
And for whatever reason, they would put me on after her to do comedy.
Yeah.
And it used to be very uncomfortable. So I got to a point where I was like, listen, I do poetry too. So I would do like certain pain pieces to kind of take the attention off of what she just said, and
Mm,
then I would have to go into comedy. But the problem is with my pain pieces, they come from my experiences. So now mentally, I'm in the mindset that I was in when I wrote that piece. So
yeah.
now to just turn the comedy on, it's like it's not always easy. So I
Yeah.
had to start making segue comedy pieces to get the people to laugh, but reprogram my mind to get me into comedy mode. So that's why I
Mm,
start writing those type pieces. Because if you're going to have, like, what they would do is, I would be like, let me come up and do some poetry, and then I'll come back and I'll do comedy. But
okay.
when you're at a mic and you're trying to get things flowing, sometimes they'll be like, nah, we want you to do, the comedy right after the poetry. So I'm like, it don't really work like that with some of these pieces. So it forced me to write new pieces that I
Mm,
call my segue pieces that set up my comedy. So when we have our poetic laughter open mics or our words and giggles, and I'm hosting the first half, I always end the hosting transition with a
mm.
poem that's going to segue into something funny to now get the audience ready for the comedy that's coming after.
Ooh. See, listen, that's some duality right there.
Hmm.
Because, yeah, it's definitely not easy going up after a vulnerable piece like that.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
sometimes at open mics, we aren't mindful of
hmm,
how quick we just segue to the next person. You
yeah,
know what I'm saying? And don't really hold space. So I thank you for that story. I never, knew that before. That's why I love these interviews. I get to learn, like, okay, it kind of had to push your pen, like, what the hell? You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, and like you said, I'm pretty sure, like you said, it's not easy to segue from doing a piece And then, okay, now how do I segue into this comedy? Because I'm still kind of feeling what I just said in my poetry. So, wow, Elijah, I got respect for you. Like seriously, that was deep. Um, so speaking of, right, speaking of vulnerable pieces, because we forget poets are so amazing, we forget that they are human. So,
Mm,
Elijah, you gave me permission to stimulate your mind tonight. For those who don't know, this segment is to get to know the human behind the poet. Because we be always saying, run that shit back, this
mm,
person's so amazing. We forget
mm,
people go through shit off stage, or some
mm.
of these pieces we ask them to rerun back, they're re-triggering themselves.
Yeah.
Only thing is, you will never be vulnerable by yourself, but you do have to answer first. So pick a number
Okay.
between 1 and 87.
Damn, 1 in 87, 84.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you. So as I'm scrolling, okay, I've been writing these questions since 2020. This has been like my shadow work, me asking myself uncomfortable questions and just being real honest with myself. So I say, let's bring it to the platform. 84. Ooh. Oh, this is a good one, Lord Jesus. There is no right or wrong answer, Elijah, but what is the script you had in your imagination about love growing up, right? But what has reality taught you about love so far?
What is the script that I had about love and what has reality taught me?
Yeah.
Um, wow, that right there is it. That right there is an interesting one. I think for me it was like, you know, you like somebody, they like you, and then y'all fall in love, and you end up being together. Like when you're young, like how you look at things is different. Like unless you in a toxic environment,
Hmm.
you don't think about breakup. You don't think
Yeah.
about heartbreak. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, I like this person, and it's like, oh, they like me, and it's like, oh, we like each other, and it's like, when you're young, you got the puppy love phase,
Yeah.
puppy love phase, and then you mess around and you get your heart broken. You know what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
getting your heart broken, it sucks. But people don't realize that there's multiple ways of getting your heart broken outside of anything romantic. You know what I'm saying? Or relationship wise with the opposite sex, or nowadays same sex, whatever.
Hmm.
But for me, I was called a hopeless romantic. So the whole, you get the girl, you get married, have kids, live happily ever after. But I realized that that's not always reality, and with the times that have changed, the accessibility to other things is just different now. Back in the
Hmm.
day, you were limited to the people that you had interaction with, based on where
Yeah.
you lived at, based on you had a cell phone, didn't have a cell phone, had a pager, didn't have a pager, stuff like that. That's how far we going back with it. Now you got cell phones, you got internet, you got Snapchat, you got Instagram, you got TikTok, Twitter, you got all these different things. You got Black app, you got plenty of fish. Like you can just pretty much go shopping for what it is that you're looking for. Like
Yeah.
the social meeting and interactions and stuff like that you have is different. Now it's to the point where people don't even ask for your phone number. They're like, let me get your Instagram. You know what I'm saying? Like it's different. So how I view love now, I think love still exists. I think
Hmm.
love is still important, but I think that how people love and how people choose to love, and what they value when it comes down to love, uh, is the reality. You know what I'm saying? Some people don't really love. They don't really love uh for the butterflies and the romantic part of it. They love for the benefits of whatever situation they're in. So they
Hmm.
love for financial stability. They love for a lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? Some people love for their family, like, oh, we're gonna have the house, the car, the kids, and we're gonna raise this family. And I love this about what I wanted is something that I have. Then there's
Hmm.
people who they love other things. They love drugs. They love being in the streets. So it's so many different ways you can go with love. It can start one way and it can end another way. But when it comes down to romantic love comes and goes. I don't believe people stay romantically in love forever. I think even in a long-term relationship, 20, 30, 40 years, I think those people fell in and out of love throughout that time, but they still loved each other. So you could love somebody but not be in love with them. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? You could love somebody and not be in love with them, but you still love them. You still got love for them. And then in different spurts and pockets of that relationship, you fall
Hmm.
in love with them again. You
Ooh,
know?
yes. Damn. Shit, which stimulated my mind. Oh, no, seriously, everything that you said is real because for me, my script was looking at love like a fairy tale and you know what I'm saying? Like you say, I love you, you love me, no drama, everything is just perfect in my mind, right? Creating this safe space because I grew up in a household that uh, being around like a lot of addictive behavior, it can be erratic behavior, so it wasn't always safe. So I used to create this world in my head, but the reality that love has taught me is that it's going to not always be perfect because
Mm-hmm.
you have two people coming together, whether that's friendship, whether that's sisterhood, whether that's intimate relationships, both have triggers, especially if y'all didn't, you know what I'm saying, y'all didn't always grow up together. You get what I'm saying? Like you're learning someone where they're at right now.
Mm-hmm.
Even to your, you know, your statement, how you were saying like sometimes romantic love can fall out of love. It can come and go. I've also had to learn that I can't possess love. I can't attach to someone unhealthily and always try to be this person making things right. I have to give space to sit in a comfortable seat when I'm in the hot seat myself. It's very uncomfortable for me to be in the hot seat at times,
Mm-hmm.
right? It was always easy to point the finger but not look at the three pointing back my way. And I would just always try to, well, how can I make this right now? You can't do that when someone is trying to process their emotions. Um, Another thing you said, the times have changed as well. Like it's so
Mm-hmm.
much access to this and that.
Mm-hmm.
It's lack of privacy because a lot of times we see something and we want love to look like that, and it's like, well, this person does that for them. How come you don't do that for me? So I'm also learning that love is teaching me sometimes you have to really sit down with the people that you are loving on and just make sure that y'all both agree with how you want to be loved. So that's my take. But yeah, this was a good
That's deep. Yeah,
conversation.
yeah, that's deep. And I mean, I agree with that. I do think people need to have those conversations on how they need to be loved and what it is that they need in their relationship or whatever type
Mhm.
of ship they have. Um, I think some people, I think people need to talk about what their love languages are.
Yeah,
I think that doesn't happen. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes I think it takes people a long time to actually even figure out or find out what their love language actually is. You see what
yeah.
I'm saying? And then it's like
Mm,
once you figure out what your love language is, um, you got to go from there. You know what I'm
mm.
saying? Like you
See,
got to go from there.
Elijah, you the first person that I got. I always bring one bonus question. How you making me bring out two? See, that's that Gemini duality stuff, right?
Hey, man,
But
Gemini.
my bonus question, okay, so my bonus question on top of that is, do you think sometimes it's okay for people to love someone in the love language that they want? Okay, like prime example, say if I'm in a relationship with somebody and my love language is acts of service. But his love language is not acts of service. You know what I'm saying? It's quality time or it's gifts. But I'm not loving him in his. Is it okay for me to love him in my love language? What you think?
So, all right, you said your love language would be what?
Acts of service, but
Act
his
of
will be
service, and you
quality
said you
time or
said you said
gifts.
his be quality time, but my thing is
Yeah.
quality time could be considered an act of service.
Mm,
So you gotta try to find a compromise. You see what I'm saying? Like if your thing is acts of service and his is quality time could be different things. So it could be chilling at the house watching a movie, cuddled up on the couch with some popcorn, booed up.
mm,
It could be uh going on a date, going somewhere. You see what I'm saying? So for that man to want to spend that quality time with you, whether you go somewhere or you stay local or you keep it simple, in my opinion, that's an act of service. You see what
mm,
I'm saying? Because he's actively showing you that he wants to spend quality time with you. You see what I'm saying? And the act is the want, and you need to see that this
Mm-hmm.
guy is doing something to show you that he is interested, wants to be around you, and all of that. So
Mm-hmm.
there's a way to take the action service and the quality time and put it together. Now, I think if
Mm-hmm.
it's like your love language is words of aspiration or whatever, and their love language is, let's say, touch,
Mm-hmm.
right? I think that y'all have to find a way to meet in the middle. You see what I'm saying? You
Yeah.
got some people who it might be, I need affection, but you got a person that's not that affectionate. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's where you're going to clash. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because now a person who's not that affectionate, they they're going to turn it on when they're ready to turn it on. You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So now
Yeah.
the person whose love language is affection, are you going to be patient enough to be able to wait for when they decide to show you affection? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's different things that come in different ways. Like if the words of aspiration is your love language, are you gonna be patient enough to wait to hear for this person to say something that makes you feel like it's a pat on the back? You know what I'm
Ooh.
saying? Because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, I look at it like this: anybody can sit up there and cook and make food for you and feed you, a dish, but can anybody just actually feed your soul? You see what I'm
Mm.
saying? Can anybody sit up there and feed your soul? And sometimes those words, sometimes that touch, sometimes that quality time, sometimes those acts of service, all of that combined ends up being the perfect ingredients for that gumbo that you need, which ties into that
Mm.
love.
Ooh, Jesus. See, listen, even as a stimulate your mind awareness coach, I'm still a student in this. And
Mm-hmm.
yes, I am in a freshly new relationship and I'm asking for myself because being single for 4 years, I can see where I have to compromise and I can see where I'm excelling. You know what I'm saying? Because I look at these relationships we are in as lessons. You know what I'm saying? And I can tell I've passed some lessons, but there's some I'm still trying to meet in the middle. So thank you for that. I appreciate you. Um, no, okay, Mr. Doctor Therapist Elijah, let's get back into the poetry. But thank you for letting me stimulate your
No
mind.
problem. No
I
problem.
got one more question before you get into your first piece.
Okay.
I guess I gotta kind of ask. I know you told the backstory, but what year was this when you decided to combine poetry and comedy? Because I know you kind of told the backstory already.
It's probably 2022, 2023. I
Okay.
think I might decided to combine the two. Like I said, it all stemmed from the fact that they kept putting me in those awkward predicaments.
Mm,
And it was like, listen, I got I do poetry, and I think when it came to me doing serious pieces, it was like, whoa, like this totally different from his comedy. And I've had people tell me like, yo, your poetry is more personable than your comedy. And it was like I took it as a compliment, but I kind of took it as an insult too. But but it was one of those things where I understood what they were telling me. And when I did my second comedy special, I made it more personable. So my,
mm,
my two comedy specials are different. Like my first comedy special was an introduction to me. Elijah the Barber Cutting Up comedy special from 2023 was an introduction of, like, I'm introducing myself to the world as a comedian.
mm.
A barber by day, comedian by night, or whatever. 2025, my second comedy special, Trust Issues. I
Okay.
got my shirt on, Trust Issues.
Okay.
I was more personable, and it's the first time I went on stage doing comedy and I was vulnerable.
Mm,
I tapped into the stuff that I really went through that were dark things and talked about it in my comedy. I actually cried on stage. You know what I'm saying?
mm,
When I did the story about my son's mom passing away. So it's like I seen people like Ali Sadiq. I think Ali Sadiq was the first person I seen and I think Mike Epps just did it. No, I don't know if Mike Epps did it. I know Jamie Foxx did it, and I was pissed when Jamie did it because it was right before mine came out. But I seen these guys like break a wall and get vulnerable and actually cry on stage in front of the audience
Mm.
and actually snap out of it and then make the crowd laugh later on. And I
Mm.
said, I want to be able to do this. Like, I got some stuff that if I talk about it, if I bring it up, I've never talked about it on stage, it's going to get me emotional to that point. And where I know that I'm special is if I can make the people laugh, make the people cry, and then make them laugh again. And I was able to
Mm.
accomplish that with my second special. So the poetry stuff and being told that my poetry is more personable than my comedy is what inspired me and pushed me to say, let me try to be a little more vulnerable with my comedy and not so much to bring people into a dark place, but show people a different side of me in this second special than I did in the first special. You see what I'm saying?
Mm.
Letting
Yeah.
them know, like, listen, I'm a barber, I'm a comedian, I'm a poet, I'm all of these things, but like you said earlier, I'm human too. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, I got feelings, I got emotions, I hurt, I bleed just like the next person.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's pretty much that.
Mm. Thank you. I appreciate that so much. I'm not there yet to cry on stage. I think people who can cry in front of people are very brave because like you are just allowing yourself to unlock. I'm serious. I'm not trying to be funny.
She
You
said
allowing
she said
yourself.
people are very brave, but you know what? Sometimes it's not
Hmm.
about the brave. Sometimes it's about if you an emotional person. Like think about this, right? One of the
Hmm.
best entertainers in hip hop ever was DMX.
Yeah.
DMX had the energy, he had the charisma, and he would mess around and at the end of the show do a prayer and start crying. And now you got people crying. So it's like you had people hype, now you got them crying. It's like he put people on an emotional roller coaster. You see what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And it's like that emotional part, that vulnerability of letting people see the different sides of you is something that is special because
Yes.
you can't worry about what people are going to say or how people are going to feel. Like if you're unapologetically yourself, then it is what it is, and people
Yeah.
respect people that are authentic.
And see, that's what it is right there. Like, I'm not trying to say brave like in a condescending way. I think that is a special thing. I have fragments of recovering people pleasing that issues that I'm like, still peeling off in my 30s. And I want to get there to where I can like just allow myself to cry on stage without thinking about it. It's a special thing. That's why I say I admire people who can, but I'm not there yet.
But it depends. I mean, it depends on the piece. Like I got a piece called "Write My Pain, Live My Life," and I hate performing it
Mm,
because it takes so much out of me. You know what I'm saying? Like it takes so much out of me, and I'm emotionally drained every time I perform it, and I have to
mm,
relive the experiences and the things that I'm talking about as I'm going through it. And I think that's the part about poetry that some people don't know. Like we write it, we write it, but to recite it is harder sometimes than writing it because you're putting out your personal experiences, your personal feelings out to the general public. And a
mm,
lot of times people are worried about uh, the perception or how people are going to feel, if it's going to offend somebody. And me, my attitude is fuck that. This is my truth. You know what
mm,
I'm saying? Like this is my truth. This is my story. These are my experiences. So
mm,
if you can relate, cool. If it helps you, if it inspires you, if it pushes you, if it can get you through, a better day, then so be it. But I just don't think that people should be censoring themselves when it comes to poetry
yeah.
because you really took a lot of thought and time to put into these words that you wrote.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
Thank you for dragging me tonight. I needed that. Oh, I'm gonna mute myself and let you get into your first piece, and I got some more questions for you.
All right, so let me see. I don't know what I want to do. Like I got so you mentioned triggers. I got a piece called triggers, but you know what I think I'm gonna do? I think because I got on the shirt and because I just promoted it, I think I'm gonna do my piece called trust issues. I haven't done that in a while. So Yeah, this piece is called Trust Issues. Maybe these issues started when I was a baby, or when I got old enough to tell if a person was shady. Or it's possible the origin story starts in the lady that caused me my first heartbreak, heartache. I have been used, mentally and emotionally abused. I feel these experiences cause my trust issues. Many nights I shed tears with no tissue. See, our problem is when the problem boils to the top and starts to fizz, we never talk about it. Afraid of being judged, feeling neglected, not being loved. The issue of abandonment is something we don't tamper with. These uncontrollable emotions have been held to me, but it's like taboo for black people to get therapy. We judge others but fear to be judged by others. Nice guys get looked at as suckers while the bad guys get the good baby mothers. See, I got trust issues. We got trust issues. Why you touching my phone? Who's that man in your phone? Who's this girl who posts you like? I shouldn't have to tell you my thoughts. You should know what I like. Once we hit a high level of anger, that's a sign of danger. Relationships stop being relationships once that person becomes a stranger. From here on out, I'll be taking my peace and my frustrations and I'll be spacing it, because I've learned that titles do not overrule relationships. It's all about how you treat people. Trust issues come from people being deceitful. Trust issues come from people being evil. Trust issues come from people doing you dirty but saying they didn't mean to. Trust issues come from families that carry traits and traditions that are toxic. Trust issues come from seeing toxic relationships and not being able to stop it. Trust issues come from one's own insecurities, abandonment triggers. It's been 10 minutes. Why she ain't respond to me? Trust issues. The change in behavior seems kind of odd to me. Trust issues, when the trigger causes a trigger, when the voice isn't heard, pain isn't felt, and the ones who need to see can't see the bigger picture. Trust issues can start at a young age before you truly understand anger, sadness, and rage. Trust issues come from your past. Have you afraid to live because you worry each day, hour, minute, second could be your last? Would you believe that some people believe the saying, I'm going to hurt you before you hurt me? That ain't nothing but trust issues. Love issues somehow get tied to trust issues. He don't do this. She stopped doing that. Now it has taken them back mentally to a relationship from the past, making them remember why it didn't last. Because it wasn't love, it was lust. It wasn't the friendship that was broken, it was the trust. Trust issues when your coworkers are kicking your back in, praying and wishing, also hoping they can steal your promotion, see your flaws and shortcomings and use it for their promotion. See, this is why I prefer to work alone, and work from home got you thinking the conspiracy theories like they clone Tyrone. So from work, life to family, people say this is why I stay to myself and I don't fuck with people. It's an answer for it all. It's called trust issues.
So is that piece still in rotation, or did you put that in the vault?
Nah, what's the name? I honestly I haven't done it in a while. Like I did my special February 2025, and I don't think I've actually done it like since then. Like what I did was I always try to incorporate my poetry when I'm going to do a comedy special.
Mm.
So when I did this second special, it was for the people in the building. People in the building heard I had that whole poem recorded, and they heard the poem before I came out on stage to actually do the comedy. So I gave the poem as a disclaimer for some of the stuff I was going to talk about in the comedy special. And I
Listen.
hit on so many different things throughout the comedy special that I feel like I made my point. I accomplished my.
Listen, uh, Broken Diamond, aka Robert, said fire. Poetic Express said, damn, read me. Skittle said, I haven't heard it in a minute myself. Yo, you dragged me like that. Like you touched on trust issues from relationships to work. It's like nobody could hide in this piece.
Yeah.
Damn it, real quick before we get back into the interview questions, what inspired that piece?
So I have a comedy bit where it's trust issues, and it's just different things I say, like, if you pour your milk in the bowl before the cereal, I don't trust you. You know, it, if you take your spaghetti noodles and the sauce and cook it in the pot together, I don't trust you. So it was like
Mm,
different things that I would say, and I'd be like, I got trust issues. I got trust issues. So trust issues started as a callback line with my comedy, and then I thought
mm,
about it, and I was like, yo, we all have trust issues, like not being funny, just being serious. We all have trust issues. So I decided to write the poem, and I wrote the poem. And then I decided, you know what? I'm gonna make my next comedy special be called Trust Issues, because I want to paint a picture and have a message that regardless of how well you think you are, we all have trust issues. We have trust issues when, white people have trust issues when they get new black neighbors. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Black people might have trust issues when they get new white neighbors. You know what I'm saying? Uh, there's so many different, ways that we have trust issues that people didn't even think about. And, all of that taught is like from the comedy to the poetry back to the comedy. You know what I'm saying? Trust
Mm-hmm.
trust issues is a universal thing. Everybody has them.
Oh Jesus. All right. Yep. Um, I'm a little tender. When people drag me with the truth, I'm just a little tender. But it's okay. It's a good thing. You teaching me some stuff. All right. Back into the questions. Who is Elijah on stage versus off stage, and how do you balance the two?
Okay, we talk when you say Elijah, you talking about me doing comedy, or you talking about like just like with the poetry stuff too?
We okay. So we can touch on both. Who are you with comedy and poetry, and who are you off stage when you're not doing that?
I think who I am when I'm doing poetry is 90% of my experiences. That's why
Mm-hmm.
my poetry name is True Lyrics, because the poetry comes from a true place, a true experience, or something I witnessed. So it's like when you watch those, you ever watch the movie and it be like based on true events? It's like
Mm-hmm.
like that's how I view my poetry. You know what I'm saying? It's like
Okay.
based on true events, whatever. Um with comedy, I'm able to take who I am in the barbershop, what I experience, what I see, what I go through, and I'm able to expand it on that stage. I'm able
Mm-hmm.
to expand it on that stage with non-censorship, basically. You know what I'm saying? I'm able to be more free. I'm able to say things on that stage that I can't say on that stage. You know what I'm saying? It's like in the work environment, I have to keep it professional to a certain point. But I can take the conspiracy Kenny conversations from the barbershop and I could take them to the stage and
Mm-hmm.
really go in. You know what I'm saying? So it's an exaggerated, I would say with comedy is an exaggerated version of who I am at work. It will basically be who Elijah the Barber is as a comedian. True Lyrics, the poet, is more serious. And I guess that's kind of like the Gemini, like the Laugh Now, probably doesn't think. So I would say True Lyrics, the poet, is more serious in what he's talking about, more deeper intellectually and stuff like that. As far as me off stage, I don't really think that there's like a super huge difference in
Okay.
who I am. It's just that I'm the type of person where I could be with a group of people or I'm fine by my damn self. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm good either way. I'm the type of person that, like, I can go to the event on a Friday night that starts 2 damn hours late and get home at 1 in the morning when I got to be to work at 7, or I could just be like, look, I can just stay home by myself on the couch and watch a movie by my lonesome, and I'm good. You know what I'm saying? So it's like with me, it off the stage or whatever, like I'm good. I was the only kid for the first 10 and a half years of my life. So
Mm.
it's like I could be by myself or I'm cool with being around people. You know what I'm saying? Like either way.
Ooh, okay. Okay. I like that. I just asked that because you hear like Sasha Fierce, like, oh, Sasha Fierce, Beyonce said, I'm more quiet. Sasha
Mm-hmm.
Fierce is more up in the. That's why I was asking. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I have one more question for you, get into your second piece. I like to do it as a woman, as a man, or in general questions, 'cause I know some people don't identify with gender, just to try to find a common ground with understanding. So my as a man question for you is, what is most understood about you that you would want the opposite sex to understand?
Wait, say that one more time. That's a good question.
As a man, what is most misunderstood about you that you would want the opposite sex to understand?
Most understood, you said misunderstood.
The most misunderstood thing about
The
you
most,
that
I
you would
don't
want
really
from
know
them.
I would just say like misunderstood. That's crazy. I never got asked nothing like that before. I would say I'm not I'm not arrogant. I'm very confident. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? I think there are some people who think I might be arrogant, but I'm very confident when I get on stage, whether it's doing poetry or whether it's doing comedy, especially poetry. When I get on poetry, like when it comes down to poetry, there's a lot of dope poets. There's a
Yes.
lot of dope poets. But I'm a very competitive person, so I'll be at certain poetry events like, oh, I'll smoke shit in here, like, you know what I'm saying? And it's like I hear the little shit that people say like, oh, you reading from your phone? Fuck that. I'll smoke you reading from my phone. You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck your memory. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll smoke you reading from this damn phone. And it's like, I don't know. I guess because I have a battle rapper background. I guess like that kind of still like kind of sticks in. So it was kind of like I don't want to say his name because I don't want to give him that type of publicity. But it was a poet that was at the event we were at, and he was a yeah, I'm gonna just say he was a poet. He do other things too, but he was a poet. And we were at an event, and he told me, he said, your poetry is dope, but people won't book you for poetry because you read from your phone or whatever.
Mm.
We kind of had words over that. You know what I'm saying? I'm like,
Okay.
who this dude? Who gonna tell me? You know what I'm saying? And it's like, what people gotta understand with me is I write too much. Like,
Mm.
I'm a writer. Like, I'm always writing. So it could be I'm writing music, I'm writing poetry, I'm writing comedy. Like, I'm just writing ideas. Like, I'm a writer. So I write a lot. And when it comes to my poetry, I usually don't recite it until I'm at a mic. You see what I'm
Mm.
saying? I'm not practicing my poetry. I'm not just doing them. So it's like I write them, I put them away. You know what I'm saying? I write them, I put them away. And I have, lots of poems. Like, I'm working on a poetry book that's going to have 50 poems in them. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
So, um, I got a lot of pieces. I even lost a lot of pieces, between phones and tablets and all that stuff, whatever, because I haven't really written on paper in a very long time. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
But I would
Same.
say I would definitely say the arrogance thing. Like, I'm very confident. I'm very confident in myself. I'm very confident in my pen, whether it's poetry, whether it's comedy, even when it comes down to music. You know what I'm saying? I'm very confident.
Mm.
And I think that a piece of you has to be confident in what it is that you're doing, because the person that you have to prove things to is yourself. You know what I'm saying? You have to prove stuff to yourself. You don't have to prove anything to anybody else other than yourself. When you get on that stage, whether you do poetry, whether you do music, whether you do comedy, you want to feel like you gave your all, you did your best when you got off that stage. And I think
Mm.
there are some people who have had nights, whether they do poetry, whether they do music, whether they do comedy, where they're like, yo, I did all right, but I ain't do as good as I could have did. I stumbled on some words, or, yeah, I'm saying my delivery wasn't as good, or the mic had a bunch of reverb in it. It threw me off a little bit. Like, I
Mm.
think that, you get people who have had those nights or whatever, but you got to be confident. And, in comedy, you definitely got to be confident. Like, 90% of comedy is your confidence. It don't matter how funny you are. If you're going up there like, yeah, so last week, like, my girlfriend, like, they're like, what? Like, you gotta have confidence. And with comedy, I tell people 90% of comedy is your confidence. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
People have to really, you have to be believable.
Yeah. When you said fuck your memory, I was like, yo, is this going to be a part two to leave me the fuck alone about my phone? I mean, leave me the fuck alone about my phone. Like, part two to what Poetic Serenity said, fuck your memory. I,
Mm-hmm.
but no, yo, that's some real shit, though. You have to be, thank you for that, though, because I asked that because I feel like sometimes the way people view us is how they view themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And you're right, we don't owe anything to anyone but ourselves. Your
Mm-hmm.
most important relationship is with yourself. So I
Mm-hmm.
like that you said, I just like to always ask, like, well, what's something misunderstood that you will want to take the time and have somebody understand? So thank you for that. I appreciate it. I'm going to mute myself and let you get into your second piece. And I just got two more questions for you. Close this out.
All right, I gotta find what I want to do now, because I don't know if I want to do a nasty piece. I don't know what I want to do. I know it's
Um,
I know it's some people on here that probably want to hear that, but I'm trying to save that stuff for the words and gasms. You know what I'm saying? I don't know who my grandma might be watching this. I'm trying to see if they're in be careful about what I say. So let me see.
I like your plot
Um,
twist piece that you did when I was featuring.
I got a couple plot twist joints that I got. So
Um,
what you talking about? Is it energy?
it
I
had
got
cheese in
energy.
it.
Yeah, who?
It had cheese in it. You know
Had
what I'm
cheese.
talking about? The
Oh,
cheese.
so you probably talking about energy with the what's the name with the buffalo chicken
I ain't
cheesesteaks.
try. I ain't trying to say what you
Yeah,
was
yeah,
talking
yeah,
about,
yeah,
so I don't want to
yeah,
give the plot twist away. But it had the word cheese
yeah,
in
yeah. Okay, I had the word cheese in it.
it.
I don't know. I think all right. I'm gonna do a plot twist. I'm not gonna do that one though. I'm gonna do a plot twist one though. All right. This is called regret. See, I messed up. Now it's time I fess up. I bet the average person has made decisions they regret. She reasoned that was me. See, I was outside her spot, parked in the parking lot, trying to decide if I was gonna go in or not. The temptation is a lot. The connection has me different, but I don't want it to stop. See, she doesn't judge me, but I'm still trying to figure out if I like her like she loves me. See, she has a way of popping into my mind, having me on cloud nine. I think about it when I watch TV or listen to the radio. Has me feeling crazy, yo. I'm trying to control the urge. Temptation is working my nerves. I was seeing her 3, maybe 4 times a week. I love the way she tastes, especially when the juices is dripping down my face. See, she's like a drug. I might need rehab because this continuing on could be bad. As I started the car and was about to pull off, I was starting to feel bad, but I knew it was for the greater good. Only a few would have understood. Me leaving was the only remedy. So I went to McDonald's today for lunch and said, fuck you, Wendy's. That's regret.
Hey, fuck you. Hey, yo, I can't. Um, my next question for you is, what is next for you, right? Like, what do you have coming up next? And do you see poetry always having a place in your heart?
Um, all right, so you said what I have coming up.
Yep.
So Thursday, I'm actually we got the Poetic Laughter open mic in Clementon, New Jersey at Essie's. We got feature poet Life. He's gonna be our feature poet, dope poet from Philly. Um, yeah, we got that. Then we got June 4th. We got another Poetic Laughter.
Mm.
Um, I can't even remember who the feature poet is for that. Oh, D something. I can't think of the other part of her name, but yeah, I'm gonna just say D. Lady D or something like that. She's the feature poet. And then we got Words and Gasms, June 26th, the erotic poetry show and open mic competition. With Poetic Serenity featuring on that. I can't wait for that. We are doing a Words and Gasms erotic poetry tour. So the tour starts with the Philly show in June. October, I know we're gonna be in North Carolina. We're working on some other dates or some other cities. So we got a lot going on with that. And I got comedy shows. I'm getting ready to go to Dover, Delaware this Saturday, and then I'll be in Atlantic City at the Casino Resorts 2 more times this month, the 17th and the 29th. Be in Wichita, Kansas on the 23rd.
Mm.
Um, yeah, I got a lot. I got a lot going on. I got a pretty busy summer. Like May and June is pretty busy, and then after that, I'm taking a break until September. Um, so I got a lot going on. We got some big announcements. I got some partnerships. I got some deals I done worked out. So within the time that I'm stepping away from poetry and comedy, the couple month break I'm gonna take, those announcements would be out. And there's it's big things that I'm proud of because I'm all about branding and just expanding my brand and putting it in a different space. Putting it in a different space because you have to dare to be different and make yourself stand out from everybody else who's doing the same thing.
Mm. Mm.
Um, it was the second part of that you asked, right? Wasn't it?
Will poetry always have a place in your heart?
Well, poetry always listen. Um, I can't breathe without poetry. You know
Mm.
what I'm saying? I can't breathe without poetry. Poetry has saved my life so many times. Poetry has got me through um, the toughest, most difficult situations in life. You know,
Mhm.
and yeah, it's a it's a non-negotiable for me. You see what I'm saying? Like if somebody was to tell me like, hey, you got to choose poetry or comedy, I'm gonna choose to give up comedy and still rock with poetry. You know what I'm saying? Poetry is what uh gets me by. You know, when I wake up at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning and I'm feeling depressed, I go to the poetry. You see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And it helps me through those moments when I'm reminiscing of a friend who's no longer here and I'm grieving and I don't have anybody to talk to. I can talk to the pen. I can talk to that poetry. So poetry is always going to be a part of my life as long as I got air in my lungs. So poetry is not going anywhere.
Mm. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you the backstory on why that question came up. So I
Hmm.
was watching R&B Money podcast as I was developing your questions this past weekend, and they were talking about Dion. I think his name is Dion Coleman. They
Yeah,
interviewed him.
Deion Collier.
Yep, yep. And he was saying that Andre 3000, just basically stopped doing music. He said he had nothing else to write about. And I said, I wonder if poets ever feel that way. So I just had to ask that, like, will poetry always be a place? So thank you for answering.
Hmm.
Um, one last question. Focus. I know you already told me which way you want to go, but I still got to say it. So we got this segment of the show where you can go the complex way and talk about a conversation the poetry community is not ready to have, but needs to have. Or we can go the angel loving way where you give encouraging words to a poet. You already told me which way you want to go.
Listen. We're gonna go the first way that you said because there's some damn things that we got to discuss.
Okay,
Yeah,
with a poet for.
and I'm
Yep.
annoyed with. Listen, I love the poetry community, especially the poetry community in Philadelphia. But when it comes down to people having events, they got to do better. And what people have to understand is when you're having an event, whether it's an open mic, whether it's a showcase, well, I don't care if it's a talent show, it is an experience. It's an experience. And the thing about why certain platforms have the longevity that they have is because of the experience. And not only just the experience, but the consistency within the experience that they are selling to people. You see what I'm saying? I had a great time at that event. I'm not gonna name it, none of that stuff. Y'all know we were there. I had a great time. That was the best, worst thing I've ever been to. You see what I'm saying? I will never return ever because it was a bad experience. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
But I had a good time. They have to work on that because what happens is you turn people off. You know what I'm saying? You turn people off. And yeah, you'll constantly get new supporters and you have your loyal supporters that will return, but you have to have people who want to make the situations better. And if
mm,
they don't make the situations better, it's going to hurt the longevity of what it is that they have going on. You see what I'm saying? So I think, not saying that particular event, but a lot of these people doing events that come off like cash grab events, they got to stop that mentality. You know what I'm saying? You got to stop the cash grab events mentality. Stop doing rent party poetry events. Stop doing that stuff and start taking it serious. Start caring about not just the poets that got to get up there, but start caring about the people that are there waiting. You know what I'm saying? We don't need hosts trying to be Martin Lawrence in between poets when your show done started 2 hours late. Keep this shit rolling, nigga. We don't want to hear you. We want to hear the next poet. You see what I'm saying? And this is the comedian in me coming out, but I'm being brutally honest
I
because
know.
I
I
got
know.
my own platform. I'm not worried about being banned or blackballed or whatever. I don't need nobody to book me. I can book myself or whatever. And when you can do that, you can talk like this. Bosses can talk like this. Y'all got to get better. I'm not saying this to discredit nobody or to hurt nobody's reputation, but if you want people to support you and support you consistently, you got to care about your product. You got
Yeah.
to care about the product that you are putting out there to the people. That stuff is unacceptable. If I wasn't a poet and I paid to come to this event that was supposed to start at 8 o'clock, and the poetry didn't get started until 10:15, that is unacceptable. That is
Mm.
unacceptable anywhere that you go. I don't care what nobody say. And the thing about it is there is no oh, we apologize, we're gonna work on it. Like, we were told before we got there by somebody who wasn't there that we weren't going to get out of there till after midnight, because it's always like that. That is a
Mm.
problem. That is a problem. So, for me, I take pride in trying to run smooth events when we have them. Hey, listen, we're gonna start this at this time, we're gonna start this at that time. The longest delay that you will have at coming to any SIGU comedy club, any SIGU poetry club, anything that is SIGU affiliated from this point on, because my battle rap shit, when I was doing the battle rap events, that was different. Like that
Mm.
was different. That's why I had to leave that stuff alone. Like, them niggas was different. But anything from anything that I've been a part of from 2022 on forth, the latest you would have to wait is 15 minutes. If we
Mm.
say that an event starts at 8 o'clock, the latest that it will start will be 8:15. We will not have our people wait no longer than 15 minutes. It's unacceptable. You see what I'm
Mm.
saying? So for the people who are having events or think about having events, and that's another thing. Everybody not qualified to throw an event. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people only throwing events because they can't get booked nowhere else. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
They gotta understand that you have to be caring about the people who are coming to pay you their money. You know what I'm saying? Will these people enjoy themselves? And if they enjoy themselves, they will come back and
Mm.
spend their money again. That's what people aren't thinking about. They're thinking about everything other than the people that are the supporters, the people that are the paying customers. Like I said, if I was in that room the other night and I paid money to sit up there and watch that, I would have been highly upset. I would have been highly
Mm.
upset. My event on
Listen.
May 16th will start on time, 6 p.m. sharp. I feel what you're saying. Like, yeah, thanks, baby. Like for real. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna try to make that. I know I got a show on the 17th. I got asked about a show on the 16th, but I haven't got all the details, so I'm not 100% sure I'm gonna be able to make that. But if I don't take this other show, then I'll probably try to be there on May 16th. I want to show my face more in the poetry
Yeah.
community and at different events. Like, it'd be hard for me to get out and get to a lot of events because I be touring and stuff like that. But when I can, I'm definitely trying to support the people that support me. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to show
Yeah.
face in people's places. I'm not one of those type of people that's just like, oh well, just come to my event, come to my event, come to my event, and I never come to yours. Like, I was able to make it to that event because when we switched venues, our day actually switched. So
Mm.
we went from having our events on the first Friday of the month to now we're on the first Thursday of the month.
Mm.
So, and before we had the first Friday of the month, when we was at another venue, we had the first Wednesday of the month. So
Yeah.
we had Poetic Laughter started the first Wednesday. Then when we moved, it became the first Friday, and now it's the first Thursday. So,
Mm.
we've been rocking out with this Poetic Laughter for a couple years now, and yeah, I can't. What's the name? I can't complain.
Listen, you are booked and busy. I'm sorry you took me out with the rent party
I'm
event.
I'm just
No, you
saying,
took
man.
me
Rent
out.
party
It's a
poetry,
real
man.
shit. It's
Listen,
a
rent
real
party
shit.
poetry.
Listen. No, but honestly, I thank you. I love having this conversation to highlight things because I know Poetic Spring was like, yo, you need to bring these type of conversations to the session. But I feel
Mhm.
like in a whole session, it could probably go left. So I was like, well, let's just ask individually.
Yeah.
So thank you for highlighting
Yeah.
that.
No, no,
Um,
no, no, no problem. No problem.
I'm going to let you close out with your last piece. I want to say thank you again for coming on. Thank you for being a light, Elijah. Like I told you
Uh-huh.
before, I love your shows because the comedians don't use the audience. You know
Uh-huh.
what I'm saying? It's target. Even though I know like sometimes you can't control that, but they all have their own style and you can tell that they really worked on their content and each one has I never sit uncomfortable at a comedian
Mm.
show. Like, am I about to be the butt end of the joke? I enjoy your show. So just thank you for everything that you do. Thank you for taking time out to come on here, and I
Mm.
hope to see you in the future as well.
Oh, listen. Look, first of all, I want to say I appreciate you for even asking me, having me on here. I watch, I tune in from time to time when you have people on here. I think it's dope what you're doing. It's a great platform,
Thank
for
you.
poets, and you keep it going is going to do nothing but elevate for you and take you, to better places. Um, I'm going to end. I haven't done this piece in a long time. I don't even remember it. But I'm gonna end with, because you brought it up. I got a piece called Triggers.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I'm
Cool.
gonna end with this piece called Triggers, since you was talking about triggers earlier. So triggers. Your triggers are for you to figure out how to handle. I shouldn't have to walk on eggshells, tippy toe, or scramble around you, all because you have childhood issues and adulthood issues you can't handle. My triggers are not for you to figure out, all because I got childhood issues and adulthood issues I'm still trying to figure out. Sometimes I could do without and live without the tossing and turning, the screaming, waking up in cold sweats because your past hunted you, leaving you so stressed. Oh, yes, some things you just can't comprehend. Your triggers take you back to the beginning, but what about the end? Where does it end? How does it end? Where will it end? Or are we going to just pretend that the past doesn't stay in the past? The hurt doesn't go away. The one thing you can say about it is the typical, we just going to pray about it. After you do all the above and try to figure it out, if it's because your lack of love, the way you came up, the phone calls when they would hang up, the funny body language whenever the name came up, all triggers, because these triggers cause triggers. I could take my time and really talk to y'all triggers, but that's not my job. So I won't do it. I know you've been through it. See, I know your pain, but I'm not the one to be digging it out. You got triggers on top of triggers, and they will continue to trigger you until you figure it out. Triggers.
We're gonna have to do a dissect that poem piece, okay? I'm gonna have to come up with a whole nother segment. We just saying, no, that was deep. That was deep. Oh
Yeah.
God. I thank you so much. I'm gonna have highlights, like in a few weeks from this
Mm-hmm.
interview. I'm wishing you best of luck. You definitely booked and busy.
Mm-hmm.
I will definitely be there June 26th.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a what are the requirements um to be a part of the contest?
All right. So this is the thing. We're only taking the first 10 poets.
Yeah, okay.
Nobody is entered yet. The first 10 poets, it's $10 to enter. And first
Only
place is like,
$10.
yeah, only $10. $10,
Okay.
$10 to enter. The first place gets 150. I think second place is like 75, and third place is 50. So, yeah, people need to, they need to jump on that.
I got you
Myself,
this Wednesday.
myself, and Poetic Serenity are definitely going to put on. Like, I got pieces I've been writing specifically for this, so I know I'm gonna have a good at least 5 pieces just for this event. Just in the subject. Um, with the whole words and gasms, like words and gasms. This is actually our second words and gasms. We did our first words and gasms back in 2023 in Jersey at Miss Philly Blues, and it was successful. We wanted to make it like a yearly thing where we were going to do it like every November, because it's some freaky stuff in November, month of Scorpio and all that stuff, whatever. And basically, we had talked to some people, and they was like, "Yo, you should take it on the road. You should take it on the road. You should bring it. Some other places." So it was like, "All right, Philly, we got to do it." And it was like, we're gonna do a little tour. So we went to North Carolina, and when we get to North Carolina, it's really gonna get wild because we're gonna have the burlesque mixed
Mm.
in with the poetry. So we're gonna see how it goes with these shows that we doing, and we're gonna try to keep it going and have it on the road and make some things happen.
Let's go.
Okay.
All right, I'm definitely got you on Wednesday for mine. I'm gonna just cash app say let's.
Mhm. Okay.
Y'all heard it. If you want to join, get up, listen, win some money and everything. Get creative. But
Mhm.
all right, y'all. That ends Poetry and Conversation Spotlight feature. We are out. Peace.
Peace.